much are they subsidized?
This thing's been a real headache to them, hasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Sort of like
The problem being,
the funds for the purchase of this equipment, 1964 check.
we propose in here that 2 persons be hired as collectors to support.
I see here is precinct 3, you've got Greg Ryan, Alden City, Richmond Hills, North Richmond Hills, and Hurt.
Colleyville and Bedford.
Colleyville and Bedford, all of them. Right there, Bedford. Really not, the 2 cities are showing interest. White Settlement, who's one of the...
White Settlement, then.
About 10 miles southeast of U.S. Highway 67.
Recess.
So recess. Authorizing contract between. Oh.
To the first desk. That young man told me he had come in and he was sorry he had missed me, but he couldn't give me any information. Again, I asked who could tell me what became of the 3 children, and he said, well,
or the energy to get as involved in this thing as I think I ought to, you know.
I know they put them up.
I really wish I could. I don't know.
Is any of the news media going to look into this thing?
Well, the Star Telegram, you know, had a run at it, and what good did it do, so I don't know.
County clerk here.
Any action on hit on the high point?
Well, what we're recommending here basically is that all car allowances remain the same, and then we're recommending that people who own a car allowance who get county gas
Sound, sensible business approach to the problem.
What do you suppose these people were when you really needed them before the election? Thank you. I'll come talk to you in a second here.
Tim Curry is a young man of great promise, and it is my high honor and privilege to be here this morning at his invitation to administer to him the constitutional oath of office. If you'll step forward, I'll do that. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tim Curry,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear you first for being here this morning. A long time since February.
Hire here. They're not desirable.
It was a distinguished company who gathered in the central jury room at 7:45 this morning. Among those on the program were Bar Association President Tom Cave, who urged Curry to never lose sight of the need to temper justice with mercy, and presiding Judge John Onion of the Court of Criminal Appeals in Austin, who praised Tim as a man whose reputation was already well known across the state of Texas. Following the ceremonies, Curry spoke briefly, swore in some 75 members of his staff, and promised to be a full-time district attorney. As he prepared to leave to go to his office, Curry commented, "We've got exactly 104 weeks and 4 days to do what we came to do. And I promise you we're going to work hard at it." Jerry Taff, Channel 8 News, reporting.
Have not been properly nominated.
That's my feeling in view of the action of the council.
Each of the have to leave that to the decision of the body for the quadrennial for a period of 4 years. These are the nominations for the annual conference. All the annual conference council board.
I'm not really sure about that.
Seems like it would be.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
See, the city, of course, the thing.
For Texas Transit, the new city ordinance spelled a possible end to about $30,000 a year in charter business, which is nothing compared with that of the Dallas transit system. Last year, DTS brought in almost $1.5 million through its charters. But when your fleet is only 12 buses, $30,000 means a lot. And that figure could be even more this year if the present trend continues. In the 2 months since the City Council passed the new ordinance, charter business for Texas Transit has gone up about 4 times. Company officials say the reason for this is a public backlash and free advertising in the form of news media accounts of the controversy. Many of the calls Texas Transit now gets for charter runs are from people who say they want to support the little guy, the so-called underdog. It appears, though, the increased charter business for Texas Transit is in jeopardy, since city officials say the delay in enforcement of the new city ordinance on bus charters is about over. In fact, Utilities Director Tom Taylor tells me enforcement proceedings will be initiated within the next several days. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.
I talked to Diana Kingston recently, a Dallasite who thinks taxpayers shouldn't maintain the Zale Corporation fountain in Diamond Park.
I feel that most of the people here in Dallas think that it does belong to the Zale Corporation. Since the land doesn't belong to them, they aren't paying taxes on it. And since it was a gift to the city, they have used it as a tax write-off. Now the city is taking up the maintenance of this and having to pay this. I know that other corporations have fountains and areas around their buildings that they keep themselves. If we if they're gonna do that, why can't I give the city my front yard and have them keep it up?
The City of Dallas doesn't feel the maintenance of this fountain is a waste of taxpayers' money. The Parks Department says the Zale Corporation invested considerable money in planning and developing this tract of land. When the fountain is turned on, the end result is an attractive oasis in the somewhat drab atmosphere of this drainage canal industrial area. The Park and Recreation Department claims to have received many favorable comments from motorists on Diamond Park. If you have any problems or questions, please write me at Contact 8, Communications Center, Dallas. That's Contact 8. I'm Cecile Burandt.
Well, of course, we don't know enough about it yet to discuss it. We are particularly interested, Jim, since we have some $500,000 involved in this program. As you well know, for many years I've contended that where you have federal funds and you have not too much control, you're going to have problems. Although I have a great deal of confidence in the chairman of this board and the members of the board.
Would that be Jerry Gilmore?
Jerry Gilmore and other members of the board. They're outstanding people. It may be that this thing's going to have to be brought a little closer to the county government.
By that, do you mean the Commissioners Court may have to get involved?
Commissioners Court may have to get involved since we have some $500,000 involved, taxpayers' money.
Mrs. Lena Pope came back to court today, trying, in spite of repeated admonitions by commissioners that they are powerless to help, to get something done to correct what she still regards as serious ills in the operation of the children's home, which bears her name but no longer meets her idea of how it should be operated. After the court session, Commissioner Dick Andersen stopped me as I was leaving to tell me he is impressed by the deep and continuing concern shown by so many people and that he's going to be looking into the situation. Also on the agenda today was the demise of the Little Red gas pump, that infamous fount from which has long flowed taxpayer-purchased gasoline into cars where most agreed it didn't belong. County Auditor Jack Benson says the new plan will restrict severely the use of the pump and that people who get gasoline allowances from Tarrant County will get 3 cents per mile reimbursement. Members of the court were elated by that action. Good-looking suit you got on there.
Yeah, I look good in cheap clothes, you know.
I just want to get your impression of the Little Red gas pump thing now that it's finally over. If you can give me one sentence.
Jerry, I'm, of course, delighted that we've gotten to this stage of the county functions, and I've always maintained that this Little Red gas pump was abused.
Dick Andersen recently survived a rather close re-election campaign. I asked him why the court hadn't taken this tax-saving effort back when he needed something to campaign about. Jerry Taff, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.